I accidentally shut down my best friend because I got scared at the thought of a real relationship, and now he's shut down on me, hasn't made any form of contact at all, and I'm regretting not saying yes to the best thing in my life. So I, 25F, just moved to this city and was honestly really grateful to have found a friend. My coworker, 29M, and I started getting close, and he became my work best friend, having lunch and breaks together. Then, eventually, he started offering for me to come along to concerts, movies, etc. with his friends, and the whole time it was quite friendly, like I never got the vibe he was interested. We would even ride together sometimes and started going for runs together. We started sending each other reels or videos and just staying in touch throughout the day. Then he started coming over to my place because we started watching White Lotus together since we both liked it before, so we thought, oh, let's watch it together. But throughout all this he never alluded to anything romantic. Never touched me or flirted. Introduced me to other people saying, here's my friend. For my job, I often have to stay late to set things up for the next day. He started gradually offering more and more to stay and help me, even though our other coworkers would go for drinks. So he would leave himself out of things to help me. That's when I started getting the vibe. At some point I even broke down to him about how hard moving away from my family was for me. I told him how guilty I felt leaving my parents and missing valuable time with them, and also how guilty I was about leaving my 11-year-old sister and missing milestones. I'm the oldest sister, if you couldn't tell, lol. He was so understanding and really talked me through it and helped me. Then one day he was helping me set up a conference room and I said, why are you doing this? Like, you are in no way obligated to do this, it has nothing to do with your job at all. He then kind of started opening the floodgates and said, well, when you like someone you do things for them. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And he said, well, in case you couldn't tell, I have feelings for you. And I was baffled. I asked him, since when? He said, well, I liked you from the moment I saw you. Which puzzled me even more, like, why not just ask me out from the start? And he said, I guess I just wanted to get to know you first. Anyway, then he said, well, do you want to go on a real date? And I kind of freaked out. My fear of commitment kicked in and I just reactively declined the date and said, I don't think that's a good idea. I got really scared and anxious. I've always fled when something is about to become real. Then he just shut down and it was awkward and silent until we left. Well, it's my biggest regret because ever since then he hasn't engaged with me. It's been 2 days and he's avoiding me hard. No texts, no eye contact. I couldn't even find him at lunch. When I finally went up to him and said, what about the date? He said, never mind, don't worry about it, and walked away. Did I miss my shot? Would he want me to push more about it? Because now that I've processed it and thought about what we could be, I'm into it. Well, if I'm being honest, I always thought he was a great guy and exactly what I needed, cause he is the more chill, soft-spoken type. And I love that cause I grew up with a very fiery dad with an extremely short fuse, so I always dreamed of finding someone who is more on my wavelength. I mean, there's a reason why we worked so well as friends, but I just didn't really think he would see me like that, like I didn't even let myself go there. I think I hurt his feelings by rejecting his date offer even though I didn't mean to. Do I still have a chance to fix this, or does it seem like I've put him off being with me? Update. First of all, thanks everyone for the great advice, I really appreciate it. The most common advice I got was to go and be honest and plan a date for him. So I wanted to do that, but in a more intimate setting, so I was feeling bold and got his favorite, Wingstop, and went to his apartment and just knocked. I would pay to have footage of the look on his face cause he was so taken aback, lol. Anyway, I said, do you mind if I come in? He was a bit hesitant, but he said yes. Then we sat and I explained everything that I said in this post. How I just freaked out cause I was taken aback and also scared. Scared about anchoring myself to a place away from my family, scared to lose my only friend, scared that the idea of having me would end up being better than actually having me. I told him that after having time to process the idea, I am very much into it and see all the ways we are great for each other. I told him how grateful I was for everything he has done for me. And that if I reacted negatively, it had nothing to do with him and everything to do with me. So when I finished my speech, he apologized. This man is too good for me. He was like, okay, I'm also sorry, I didn't mean to ice you out, I was just disappointed and needed a little time, and I would have eventually started speaking to you again, like I would still rather be your friend than not. And that was a big relief cause I saw comments of people saying, well, if he was just hanging out with you to get in your pants, then he's not your friend or he's immature. Well, he proved that he's not and that he's great actually. Another thing is people said, well, if you didn't like him romantically at all, then you should just leave him alone or you just miss the attention. I genuinely just didn't even entertain the idea because the nature of our relationship was so platonic. In my brain I was just like, well, we're just friends. If he was interested he would have said so or shown it, flirted, or been more tactile. I just accepted that as the reality, so him saying he actually did like me was a complete surprise. Anyway, so we have officially decided to give it a go. We had a pretty deep convo about where we see our lives going and it's very much in alignment with each other. I'm super happy but still fearful, I admit, but I just keep telling myself that if I don't try I'll regret it. I still have a date that I'm planning involving all of his favorite things that I'm working on in my back pocket cause I still feel like I have some making up to do. Oh, and we ended up kissing and it was great.